Hey, it's Myers. When I was a kid, growing up, living with my parents lived on the Nebraska side of the Missouri River from Sioux City, Iowa. And when I left home and whatever, I've spent most of my adult life living in Iowa. And I never felt like, as a kid, as a Nebraskan, and most of my adult life, I've never felt like an Iowan. But 4.5 years ago, my wife and I moved to Minnesota, and since we've lived in Minnesota, my wife and I both agree that we feel fully Minnesotan, and Minnesota is just an amazing state. A lot of things to do. Great culture, arts, great restaurants. All kinds of fun stuff to do. Amazing record stores, great fucking people in the punk rock scene, and But anyways, what's been going on here in the past few weeks with ICE invading us? It's fucked up. And I see that as a white guy. You know, um, so. Like we were told they were going to go after the worst of the worst, the drug dealers, the gangsters, the rapists, blah blah blah. We're arresting 5-year-olds. 5-year-olds. Like this, make this make sense to me that like 5-year-olds, you know, were beating up kids on their way to or from school and stealing their cell phones to sell. That's not enforcing the law. That's breaking the fucking law. We're beating up 17-year-old kids working at Target who are bringing in the shopping carts, kidnapping them, and then dropping them off in a Walmart parking lot a few miles down the road. And, if you got a question about the legality of some employee at, I don't know, a Target store, go to the fucking HR department and ask to see the I-9s, and talk about the fraud in the CMS. So, okay, fraud is a bad thing, but Trump has been convicted on 34 fucking felonies related to fraud of misappropriating payments to a porn star, claiming they're legitimate business expenses, and shuffling the decks and the ledgers, cooking the books. That's fucking fraud. Trump, 34 counts. Okay? There's a reason. Let me ask a legitimate question. Why can't the Trump Organization run a charity in the state of New York? Because they committed fraud, stealing money from veterans and from kids with cancer. If you're worried about fraud and obeying the law, then, we need to, Trump has committed fraud. Look at Trump University. How much did Trump University have to pay out because of fraud committed by Trump University? So it's just fucking disgusting. So today, January 23rd, the whole state is basically giving a big fuck you to capitalism, and it's a general strike in the state, or as far as no shopping and spend time with the community. Now, granted, I live 2.5 hours from the Twin Cities. If I would live closer to the Twin Cities, then I'd be out there protesting this afternoon. And you want to know what, watch the news today, and you see the protests that are going to happen this afternoon in the Twin Cities. The high temperature of the day, the warmest part of the day this afternoon, the high is going to be negative 10 degrees. But, Minnesotans are just a different fucking breed, and they'll be out there protesting. And God bless them, because It takes a fucking special breed to want to go out in 10-degree weather for anything, let alone, like, these are good people. These are nice people. But you really got their fucking Irish up if you got them so pissed off that they want to go out in 10-degree weather, negative 10-degree weather, to protest your bullshit, And this ain't about laws or whatever. Trump said himself, this is about retribution. And, you got to wonder, like, are we winning hearts and minds here? How many people were on the fence going into this who think, you know what? After seeing what's gone on in the Twin Cities, I'm going to vote Republican from now on. Because I got fucking grandkids who are teenagers. And I talk to these grandkids, and they see what's going on. And they know the truth, and they know who's behind it. And you know what? I've heard for years about liberal indoctrination. Trump and MAGA and ICE have done more for liberal indoctrination in the past fucking year than all the four-year colleges and NPR put together has done in the past 50 fucking years. That's how fucked up, a great political leader said that, the more you tighten your grip, the more star systems will slip through your fingers, Governor Tarkin. The more Trump is trying to squeeze us, and the more he's pushing people away, But so, anyways, I'm here in Southwest Minnesota. It's colder than fuck out, and I'm spending the day listening to some 45s. I got Daniel James Gang. This one, he's from a state over in Wisconsin. This came out on Sue. Emily and the Blackouts. We did an album with them a couple years ago, but they wanted to come back and do a 45 with us, which, this is a great 45. And then we got Roland Bolin. For those of you who don't know, Roland is the son of Mark Bolin from T-Rex and Gloria Jones. And, just because of who he is, I'm sure he's had a lot of offers from a lot of different record companies over the years because of who his parents are, And for whatever reason, Roland wanted to work with Sue. And I asked him why, and Roland said it's because... Well, he's friends with the guys in the Y'all, and he said the reason he wanted to work with us is because the guys in the Y'all said they've had a good experience working with us. So, anyways, listen to that. Other stuff I'm listening to today, The Strains. This one was out on I-94 Records out of Detroit. We're doing a project with The Strains. Dig that band. They're a lot of fun. I got the Vikings here. This was out on Sympathy for the Record Industry. These guys were great. Steve Bass from the Devil Dogs and guys from Turbo Negro and Morton from the Yum Yums over in Norway. So killer fucking 45. Metal Mike Saunders, the frontman of Angry Smollens. Killer 45 he did on Sympathy, doing a cover of Wigwam Bam from Sweet. Nikki Corvette, God, I got a crush on Nikki Corvette. She's amazing. Absolutely love Nikki Corvette. And Jesus Mary Chain, love them. Spirits here, I don't know a whole lot about these guys. I only know this 45. This is out from Marco, Ghost Highway Records. Marco runs Ghost Highway Records out of Madrid, Spain. He puts out a lot of the similar sort of bands as I do, and we do trades. So he has Sue Records over in Madrid, and I have Ghost Highway stuff here in the U.S. I also do trades with Heavy Medication in Warsaw, Poland. Similar label to mine, and Drag Strip Riot from Estonia, which is run by Ardo, Grexter Pride is run by Ardo from Dead Furies, who did an album with Sue. But listen to see bass Sli-Fi, obviously from the Vikings and the Devil Dogs. Love him. And New Brutarians. We got another project in the works with New Brutarians. Excited about that. And but I'm sitting here frustrated, thinking that, like everything I learned listening to a lifetime of punk rock, of, stuff from the Dead Kennedys and Black Flag, the Clash, bands like that, I hoped the things they warned about would never become reality, but, it has. And, I've been listening to this, Frankenchrist by Dead Kennedys, and the song Stars and Stripes of Corruption. That song is more true today than when they released it. The verse about, who are the real patriots, Archie Bunkers waving the flag, or people with the guts to demand some real change. And, the whole love it or leave it thing. I hear that love it or leave it thing all the time. I've heard it from my dad. If you don't like it here, you can leave. Well, thing is, this is my home, and as bad as it is, this is my home, and I asked my dad, if you needed a new roof, do you just move out of your house, or do you get a new roof? Say your hot water heater blows, and you need a new hot water heater. Do you replace a hot water heater, or do you just move out of the fucking house? There are problems here in America. We got some real fucking problems right now. But the answer isn't to leave it. It's to fix the problems. And Trump is a fucking problem. Trump is a fucking problem. He's a criminal. He's a liar. The whole thing, everything about DHS, everything they say is a fucking lie. The first thing that Chrissy Nome said about the killing of Renee Good was a fucking lie. That, well, ICE agents were stuck in the snow and they were trying to get it. Those vehicles weren't stuck in the snow. And saying, well, she was using her vehicle to ram their vehicles and Well, that's the same story they said last June in Chicago when they shot a woman in June in Chicago. And so when they're saying that, they're repeating the same fucking lie from one shooting to the next. And that deal in June was all bullshit. ICE rammed that woman and shot her, so... when they repeat the same lie from one situation to the next, my bullshit detector goes off. And so they're all full of shit, the whole thing of like, we're not going after 5-year-olds. His father abandoned him, but he's also being detained with his father in Texas. Well, if his father abandoned him, then how the fuck's he being detained with his father? You guys are fucking lying cunts. ICE and this whole administration can't tell the fucking truth about anything. And it serves from the top down. They're all a bunch of lying fucking pieces of shit. And the whole thing about sleepy Joe Biden and he's so old and whatever. Trump is at death's doorstep. That old fucking, if he lives until Christmas, I'd be surprised. He's got cognitive decline like you wouldn't believe, the guy is out to fucking lunch. 80 years old and rambling and wants to invade Greenland, but we're talking about making a speech about invading Iceland. Repeatedly. The speech in Davos about invading Greenland, we're repeatedly talking about invading Iceland. Might as well throw Scotland in there too. Fuck them, because the country ends with land. Like what the, like he's an incoherent fucking goofy fucker. And you guys, you MAGAs that are going to hitch your wagon to this goofy fucker. Like I said, Trump's done more for liberal indoctrination in the past year than NPR and all four-year colleges have put together have done for liberal indoctrination in the past 50 years. The pendulum's swinging, and it's swinging fucking hard. And, the Republican Party is not going to stand a fucking chance in winning any elections, because of this stupid shit. The polling spells it out, and now Trump says, well, polling should be illegal because it's not kissing my ass and making me look good. Well, if people are against you, people are against you. And no matter how you fucking try to bullshit about it, the polls say that people don't fucking like what you're doing. Sorry for ranting. I need to go back to listen to 45s and calm my ass down. Sorry I haven't done one of these videos for quite a while. I'll try to do better about it. Talk to you later. Like and subscribe, and tomorrow Sue Records and Sue Guitars be back in business. Talk to you later. Bye.